Real Madrid has been in complete shambles in the last 2 seasons while going back-to-back trophyless. Amongst many other problems, the managerial position was one of the biggest talking points of them all. Carlo Ancelotti getting sacked, then Xabi Alonso only getting 6 months of a chance, and then Arbeloa, after not doing basically anything at all, got sacked, fortunately, and then we have appointed Jose Mourinho. But can he fix the other problems? So that's why I'm doing this video. What are the key reasons why Real Madrid brought him in and why I think he will work at Real Madrid even when people say he is finished? The first key season is actually going to be stat related. Because now you're looking at a seasonal stat, comparison to Real Madrid versus the top 7 leagues against every single other club in the top 7 leagues according to MP Data, this site that I have used. It's for the season 2025-2026, which is the last seasons where, we had so many problems, so many dramas. But I want to talk about on the pitch, because off the pitch, we're going to get into later. But on the pitch, as we can see, we are in the 92nd percentile in goals, 94th percentile in attacking, possession, counters, even 99th percentile, 97th percentile, 97th percentile. See, we are in the elite of elites in goals, attacking, possession, counters, defending, physicality. Now, before I reveal the last stat that is hiding right here, I want you guys to guess what is the last stat. And why am I hiding it? Why am I hiding something from Real Madrid? Because in these, stats, it seems like, yeah, we are in the 90 plus percentile where we should be as Real Madrid, especially versus the top 7 leagues. So what is the last stat? Make sure to let me know in the comments, but I'm going to reveal it now. And I don't think some of you will even be surprised, because of course it is pressing. As a team stat, we are only in the 62nd percentile versus the top 7 leagues. If it was top 5, top 3, I would have been mainly like, okay, elite teams. But top 7 leagues, we are talking about, Uber Eats France. We are talking about maybe Portuguese or Belgian league. Whatever league you want to do that. Netherlands, Eredivisie. 62nd percentile in pressing. And what is Mourinho most known for? For his relentless playing style and his defensive cover, his defensive work, his teams, how good they are defensively. Look at Chelsea, I think, in 2005. 15 goals conceded. They had one of the best pressing numbers as well in the whole league. But when you look at these numbers, isn't it just obvious what Real Madrid needs? We need somebody that is going to make these guys press. And because of this deficiency in pressing, we also have a much better defensive number. The defending, we are in the 92nd percentile, which I think every defensive stat is counted up, against other teams. But do you think that we are actually good defensively? No, we're not. These stats are so skewed by us having to defend so much that we are in this percentile, 97th percentile, only because we lose the ball so much and we don't get it back because we don't press. And do I believe Jose Mourinho can make some of these players press more? Can he make them more focused? Can he make the players better? Can he make them, press in a better system? Yes. Attacking-wise and tactical-wise, he's not going to be a tactical. He's not going to be this crazy idea of an inverted fullback and this guy overlapping this guy. No, but he's going to make the players more disciplined. And this is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. And us being in the 99th percentile in counters as Real Madrid, this basically screams that we are only a counter team. Should Real Madrid only be a counter team? No. At least this should be at an 80th percentile, and this should be going down because we need to stop relying only on counterattacks. And by the way, if we scored from every counterattack, nice, but we don't. Let's be honest, guys. Most of those counterattacks are 50-50. We either score, get something from it, but the other 50% is we get an absolute annihilation because nobody presses. These two numbers, the 62nd percentile in pressing and 99th percentile in counters, might be the worst combination Real Madrid could honestly have. I need those numbers to be up, and I need the team to have a better press, overall press as a unity, because we basically have no structure. And that's what Jose Mourinho is going to bring. That's my first key reason. Let's get into the second one, which is going to be player related. Now, the first player I want to talk about is, of course, Jude Bellingham. We have been getting rumors and, talks about how Jose Mourinho wants Jude Bellingham to have a more attacking role. He wants him to be more open. He wants him to have more freedom, especially in attack. He wants him to crash the box. He wants him to basically do what he did in the first season at Real Madrid and be, you know, kind of a false nine, kind of a second striker maybe to Mbappe, or when Mbappe maybe has an injury, doesn't play, can play the false nine, or a 10 that basically, you know, shoots up when it's needed to, because Jude Bellingham is elite at goal scoring. He's just an elite player at goal scoring. And I think a huge reason why Jose Mourinho wants to do this, because he doesn't want Jude Bellingham to be limited. That's exactly what's going to happen with Fede Valverde, I think, as well. He's going to have more of a free role, which we have seen under Arbeloa, which actually helped him so much. I rate Arbeloa for what he did to Valverde. That's one of the only things I actually rate about him, because he saw that Valverde was too restricted for his own talent and his abilities, and he made him much better. But Jude Bellingham, I think, we did this to him a little bit as well when Mbappe came into the team. But if we can unlock Mbappe and Jude together, where they can maybe figure something out in those attacking positions better, and we can also use Arda during the same games as Jude Bellingham, I think we would flourish with those two as our number 10s, and maybe, you know, switch to a different system. We will see. But that's not my point. With Jude Bellingham, I genuinely think this guy will become someday our captain. I think he has every quality to be the leader. I think he has the best quality to be the best player in the world. I genuinely still think that Jude Bellingham will win a Ballon d'Or in his career. I honestly see everything needed for the biggest player in the world in Jude Bellingham. He has the ego, he has the determination, he has the excellence on the pitch, he has everything you need for a Ballon d'Or. He has the GA, and when he's not injury prone, he's gonna be one of our best players. That's only if Jose Mourinho gets the best out of them and gives him the confidence, because Jude Bellingham, let's be honest, guys, yes, he's mentality monster, but when he doesn't have confidence and it's slowly building up, you know, the uncertainty, he doesn't play as well. Let's be honest, guys, especially at Real Madrid. I think for England, Jude Bellingham is he's just in another galaxy, honestly, guys. The second player is, of course, gonna be Kylian Mbappe. Now, Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Junior are basically on the same level of why I think Jose Mourinho can work and will work, in my opinion, but can also be a huge disability if he doesn't make Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius work. Because, guys, let's be honest, Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe are not bad players. They are both the best players in the world. Honestly, they are. We can see it for Brazil and France. They can play in their respective positions. Mbappe is literally playing striker for France. He's rotating, he's pressing, he's doing everything. And now Vinicius, he's just not losing balls as much. He's actually pressing as well. When he doesn't press, he gets the ball and he does something with it. That's the biggest difference between Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius at Real Madrid, and them in the international level. They actually do the things they should be doing. Mbappe presses, he does everything for the team. He actually scores the chances that he should be scoring and more. And then Vinicius beating players one-on-one. Absolutely cooking everybody, relentless. But he doesn't care about energy because he has too much of it for the fullback. Genuinely, guys, when I watch him for Brazil, he goes on and on and on. It's the same at Real Madrid, but he just loses the ball so much and does stupid shit. It's so weird how Vinicius can switch like that to Brazil, when before he wasn't really doing that well for Brazil. Let's be honest, guys. Like, Brazilian legends were always on Vinicius, that he didn't perform as well as he did for Real Madrid. Now it's the other way around, and it's the same for Kylian Mbappe. But Kylian Mbappe was always performing for France, we know that. But now he's doing it as a pure number 9. Is he the poacher? No. Is he gonna head the ball in the box? Is he gonna be waiting for crosses? No. But does it work with the players that he has around him in France? Yes. Of course, if Michael Olise could come to Real Madrid, it would be even a bigger key reason why I think, Jose Mourinho will work at Real Madrid. But I'm not gonna be counting on, some rumors and that Olise might come to Real Madrid. This is just on Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius right now. If Jose Mourinho gives them the confidence and makes them play like they are playing right now in the World Cup, they will work together at Real Madrid. It's simple as that. Vinicius has to pick up the same role as Barcola has in the French team. But you know what's crazy? Vinny is much better than Barcola. He can do it, and he can score more goals, he can assist more goals, and he can be better in one-on-ones and in chances created, because he's a much more quality player than Bradley Barcola. Vinicius just has to understand his role at Real Madrid, and that's exactly what Mbappe has to do at Real Madrid as well. I think Mbappe is already an exceptional player. I think he's the best player in the world when he wants to be. Like, genuinely, right now, he's the best player in the world. I don't care about anybody else. Kylian Mbappe needs to press more for Real Madrid. That's the pressing numbers going up, as I said before, and he needs more confidence with playing with Vinicius. They need that chemistry, and I know it's been 2 years. It will never work out. Jose Mourinho will make it work out if Vinicius and Mbappe actually want it to work out. That's my second key reason. These players need to trust Jose Mourinho, and Jose Mourinho needs to give them the confidence and the stage to finally flourish. Now, the third key reason is going to be a little bit more personal, I think. I genuinely think, talking about players like Kylian Mbappe, Vinny, Jude, Fede Valverde, even the defenders like Trent, and these guys, sensational talents. But bringing in some players like Dumfries, Konate, Cucurella, even maybe a different midfielder, maybe even Bastoni. I think these players are more workers. They are relentless workhorses that work for the team. They don't have the highest egos, but they don't have the sensational performances, generational talents. They are not the greatest on the ball or whatever, but they are pure defenders, and they are pure players. Exactly what they want from Jose Mourinho. Sorry, exactly what Jose Mourinho wants from his players. He needs those pure players that know what they want to do. It's not like Mbappe, yeah, he's going to do this one game, he's going to do this one game. Jude Bellingham can defend, but he can also attack. No, but Cucurella is going to be a left back that is good defensively, okay on the ball. That's it. If you're good defensively, you're there. Trent is going to be less defensive, of course, way better on the ball. Do that. Konate comes in, he can be, off the bench in the starting 11. Hey, all you need to do now is to just perform under Jose Mourinho, and your whole career is turned around. That's all you need. We don't need you to be fucking Sergio Ramos or Varane to be doing, I don't know, scoring 3 goals in a UCL semi-final. That's not you, bro. But if you're gonna be a consistent defender, you're gonna be that guy for Jose Mourinho. That's the same for Dumfries. Maybe off the bench, maybe he benches Trent. But I think the third key reason, guys, is that the recruitment of Jose Mourinho so far has been sensational. Even if we don't buy Olise, even if we don't get Bastoni, I genuinely think that Bernardo Silva, Cucurella, Dumfries and Konate are good players to be bringing off the bench in some games. I don't particularly like Bernardo Silva till this day, but maybe there's something else, But the other 3 players that we have already bought, which is Cucurella, Konate, Dumfries, I am all for it. I think they are great defensively. I think they are physical monsters. I think they are way better in stamina and in pressing, which is exactly what we need to do. And I don't think they have the mindset of I need to beat this guy. I need to be, in the newspaper. Cucurella will just do his job. Konate is basically being called a bozo, so why not, revive my career? He needs to get back. That is motivation. And Dumfries, he's coming from Inter, 2 lost UCL finals. What better motivation do you have than coming to Real Madrid and proving yourself there and actually winning a UCL? That's my third key reason, is the recruitment of Jose Mourinho so far. Now, the fourth key reason, once again, we're going to stay full screen because it's just a talking point. And actually, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Do you believe that Jose Mourinho is the best ego manager in the world right now? I genuinely don't know which manager has a better, understanding of a personal issue with a player, personal vendetta, personal, achievements, what Mbappe wants, what Fede Valverde wants, what Tchouaméni wants, but what Trent wants. He has the perfect understanding of every single player that he trusts. If you don't give him the trust, if you don't work for him, he's not going to care about you. And some players are going to be the victim of that. I'm pretty sure, maybe if Camavinga stays and he doesn't give him his all, he's going to be on the chopping block. He's already there. Maybe Tchouaméni can do that. Maybe even Valverde can be there, What if Rodrigo comes back, doesn't really sit well with Mourinho? He can be out as well. That's what Mourinho does. He is reckless, relentless. Of course, it can be, it can backfire on us. Especially when we lose a game, if there is a drama, it can backfire because, yes, he is a bit, I would say, he can get furious when it comes to it. But when Mourinho trusts you and has the best players under his disposal. I don't think there is a better manager in the world that can manage the egos better. I think this is one of the biggest reasons why Real Madrid brought him here. It's not because he's going to be a tactical. And even though I talked about the pressing reasons and how, tactically Vinny has to do this with Mbappe and Jude will play as more attacking and this and that, it will never work if they don't have the right mentality. And every single player has that ego managed to their standard. Mbappe has to be managed like this. Fede Valverde has to be managed like this. But then we have Militao, the injury-prone players. Then we have Courtois. You have to make every single player happy, and you have to make certain that every single player knows their role. We don't want to have players on the bench piping up. We don't want to have starters piping up to Mourinho that they're not getting too, less minutes and this and that. Every single player needs to understand the project, and Mourinho is the perfect man for that, for managing their egos, expectations, and what they need to do to be a starter or to stay at the club. Whatever their achievement or goals are, Mourinho will set that for them, and it will happen if the players are on Jose Mourinho's side. But these were 4 key reasons why I think, Jose Mourinho will work out, why Real Madrid even appointed Jose Mourinho. But once again, if I look at Kylian Mbappe, we looked at Vinny, Jude Bellingham, the 5th key reason is not on Jose Mourinho, not on Real Madrid. Those 4 key reasons were only accustomed to Jose Mourinho. Put them aside. The 5th reason is that the players are gonna work for Jose Mourinho. The only way those 4 key reasons work is if the players actually work for Jose. Do I believe he can get the best out of players? Yes. But if they don't work for him, if they don't try, if they don't look in, if they don't press, if they don't get better in attack, and if they don't get better in defense, if they don't trust each other more, nothing is gonna happen. Those 4 key reasons are not gonna matter. So the 5th key reason is actually gonna be a negative. It's actually gonna be a negative reason why I think Jose Mourinho might not work out. And that's genuinely just because I don't believe in the players that much. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I believe in Mbappe in the World Cup. I believe in Vinny now in the World Cup. For Jude in England, I believe him. I think Fede Valverde got done dirty by the manager, honestly. Bielsa with Uruguay, I don't care about him at all. I believe in Cucurella for Spain, whatever. I believe in these players. But when they're together, can I be honest? I don't believe them at all. When they are together, playing for Real Madrid, I have not seen them play like a team, even once. Maybe against Bayern, it was a team effort, but we still lost. It wasn't enough, so that's not good enough. Maybe some small games in the UCL, sure, we had a nice game, but were we really a team? Look at Vinicius piping up to Xabi Alonso. Look at Mbappe with the vacation stuff. Look at the fight between Tchouaméni and Valverde. So all of those reasons can be voided out just by the players. Mourinho can do this, that, he can change everything, but if the players are not on board, it will be all for nothing. That's why I think Jose Mourinho will do great with the players. He will get them on board and they will actually try for him. Because if you're telling me who would you rather run for, Arbeloa or Mourinho, it's going to be Jose Mourinho, if I'm not going to lie. Honestly, those 5 key reasons are, for me, enough to justify that Jose Mourinho should have come back to Real Madrid. I still like the appointment. I still, I think we will make signings. I think the team will get better. I think that we have to start on fire, of course. But I do think that Jose Mourinho will become one of the best managers in Real Madrid history. If it does come out to those 4 key reasons and the 5th negative, that will hopefully not happen. But if the players don't want to, it will be the same. It doesn't matter how good Jose Mourinho is or how good one player is. If the team isn't a team, we can all forget about it. Now let me know down below if you agree with these 5 key reasons or the 4 key reasons and the 1 negative that can, basically turn everything to nothing again. But yeah, these were my key reasons why I think Jose Mourinho has been appointed to Real Madrid and will work out at Real Madrid. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.